Welcome guys, this is Soihavetoplay and I have been working on a couple of videos to talk about the lore of GreedFall. One of the things that have attracted me to this game, which I recognize, it's got some jerky movements on the camera. It's not the most polished game in the world, but it has been fun playing it, and there is a lot of affinity to the real history, which I think is quite unique. Especially the 17th century art and the costumes and everything that you see around. Added the magic, of course, and the monsters that obviously adds some fantasy, but it's pretty cool to see from the beginning how they are going in affinity with history. You know, when we look about the art, and in the 7th century was really marked by increasingly growing networks of trade, which brought a great deal of exchange of artistic objects and global spread of styles. You know, we know that was facilitated but mostly by the British and the Dutch trading companies in South Asia, the Spanish in South America, and many other channels. You know, there was China was known, Japan, Korea. They grow and expanded with the art as well, and Chinese goods started coming to the other continent. But I wanted to say something about the great variety of artistic production in Europe, and when you see the Baroque styles and what they were focusing on, you see that from the beginning with just the first character we see, which was the painter. Often these guys actually live with the family for a long time, producing a lot of portraits, but not only just that. There was a lot of taste for the portraits, but also landscape, and showing some still lives, like I said, cityscapes and scenes of everyday life. And you see those on the pictures hanging on the wall when we start customizing our character. And interesting enough, beyond that art, I see that our character, especially when you pick a girl, she's dressing not like the common girl with all the dresses and the elegance that was customary for, especially for people that are wealthy. And you know, when I started playing, I was like, oh, she's dressing like a guy, and then she's bumping into all these ladies, and none of them are wearing pants, and she's wearing the long dresses. So this is very, very unusual, and I thought maybe because she's fencing and practicing, and perhaps that. But our character, which I picked, it was a female, went and she's just wearing a beautiful hat, and then some, I guess, with the pants, and been very active. But she was granted a legate of the merchants congregation. So that is very important position, because like I said, the 7th century was about growing all the trades, you know, using the sea. Obviously there's no flying yet, or motor cars, but they use the sea, and this is where the nuts in particular they come handy. But from the beginning, the Thelim and the British Alliance, which are in war, by the way, we have to deal with them, and we have to either stay friends and somehow manage. And those are part of the decisions that are gonna define your style in this game. So anyways, I just want to say a few words. I think it's pretty cool to see how they're adhering on everything based on history, how the new colonies like New Serene, and how even when you have those places that are new, you have different countries with their own governments in different regions, and you have to deal with that, just like it happens with the Portuguese, the Spanish, the British, and the French, especially, and in the Americas. So kudos to the event, to the developers, and I look forward to talk more about the lore of the game.